They hid the truth in shadows, but every heart can find its light. We heard the silence and the quiet, feelings lost behind a veil of doubt. Step by step, our voices growing, breaking chains they tried to keep us bound. Every whispered lie can't hide the hope we hold. Every gentle truth will guide us through the cold. Like dawn across the darkest night, we lift our dreams into the sky. One heart, one voice will shine the light. Together rising, we will find the why. Steps of courage move the mountains. Softest words can break the mold. In each seed of truth we're planting, see the world transform before it's cold. Gather all our hopes and dreams, reach out and love and let it be. One taught across the darkest night, we lift our dreams into the sky. One heart, one voice will shine a light. Together rising, we will find our own. Hand in hand, standing through the sky. Together rising, we will find the why.
Bryan is innocent. Bryan has been essentially convicted in the media. He has a right to have this information withheld, brought out in public, so that people can see it's not this neat little package. So people can start to wonder if Bryan's innocent. Your Honor, Bryan is innocent. So if I talk about things that are in the affidavit, and if I talk about things that we're seeking that the state wants to hide, I think that's fair game for the public to hear.
Absolutely, Anne. Fair game for the public to hear. I think that should have been that way all along. What do y'all think? Thank you for joining the stream today. You're getting the feisty Phoenix today. I do apologize in advance. How about if I tone it down a little bit and give you the spicy Phoenix? So I see you are all, I love it. Let's get ready to rumble. Credit Rick in the house. Good to see you. And we are having a feast today. This is going to be good, folks. I figured we'd change it up a little bit, ask a few questions in the beginning, and let's get into it, because this is totally 100% embarrassing when we know that he is factually innocent. So are you guys ready for this stream? Drop a 1. Whoever has posted hello, I'm going to ask a question too. I'm going to pick 5 random people today. 5 random, amazing questions. You guys are going to love today's questions. So get ready. If you have said hello, I'm going to ask you a random question. Caleb in the house. Hello, hello. Good to see you. I saw the court ruling. I got a little bit of info on that for you. And let's see, who else is here? Jane, welcome in. Good to see you here. Good to see you. Amanda in the house. Hello. Good. My trusty mod. I love you. Good afternoon. And let's see who else is here. Oh, we got a lot of people in here. Les, hey, welcome into the chat. Welcome into the stream. Amanda, Les, good to see you guys. Y'all are greeting each other. I love it. Absolutely love it. Donna Rosa, welcome in. Stephanie, welcome in. Hi, let me see who else we've got in here. Dina, welcome in. Welcome everyone. Holly, hey, good to see you. And you know what? I do go live on Thursdays on the Tickety Talk at 7. So I will finish up the stream, take a break, and I'll be back over on the TikTok tonight with 2 other awesome women. Janet, good evening. Welcome in, Rebecca. Good evening. Haley, good evening. Baby B, welcome in. My pal Sal, vintage. My pal Sal. I can't say that. And Les says she loves the spicy stream. We're getting into it tonight. Misinformation. Welcome. Karen, welcome. I see ya. Sally, welcome. Best of me, welcome. All right, Gina in the house. So let me do some random random questions here. Eyes wide open. Hello, Gypsy. Welcome back. I'm glad to see you. I hope you are feeling better. And for all of this out there, all you women, you short, feisty women like me, if you are fighting any autoimmune issues, you girls and guys are in my prayers. Believe me, I know how tough it is. I can't keep it up. I'm so happy to see everyone here. Awesome. I love spice. Double check. Let's do double check. Is that Ashley Jennings or Olivia? That is a picture of Olivia when I asked AI to make me a picture of her. And Bryan Kohberger kind of looks like Bradley Cooper, huh? All right. So I'm going to ask you a few questions. I hope you guys are ready. All right. Let's see. Who should I ask a question to? What was the Jethro, that sounds really good. Baked chicken and rice tonight. Yum. What time is dinner? Let's see. And let me just ask. Okay, Gina, here's a question for you. If you could instantly master any skill, what would it be? If you could master any skill, what would it be? Sally, here's your question. If you could swap lives with anyone for one day, who would it be? If you could swap lives with anyone for one day, who would it be? And please don't say Kim Kardashian. Jackie, here's your question of the day. If your life was turned into a movie, what would the topic be? That's a good one. Mind reading. I love it. So Gina's answer was mind reading. If she could master any skill. I love it, love it, love it. And let me see. Wolf Angel, welcome in. If you had to create a viral video, any challenge, what would it be? Wolf Angel, if you had to create any challenge, what would it be? Jackie says real estate. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Good answer. Can't top that one. X-ray vision, Jethro. I love it. Learning all possible languages. I love it. Always learning. That is so awesome. Welcome, Michelle. And I've got a question for you. Get ready. This is your question, Michelle. What is the strangest thing that has ever happened to you during a live stream? So let's say you were watching a live stream. What is the strangest or funniest thing that has ever happened to you? Kids amusement park. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that would be a great challenge. Okay, and this is for everyone in the chat that wants to answer this before we get into this ring fight. Remember, this is a spicy stream tonight, guys. We are getting spicy. So, do me a favor. This is for everyone in the stream. If you want to drop your answer below, feel free to do it. Kind of a really good way to get to know more people. What's a completely random fact you know that blows people's minds? What is a complete random fact that you know that blows people's minds? Answer it below if you guys have one. A random fact. Okay, and let me grab my slide deck real quick. More pre-postulant mistress of the fall, 1981. If you drink water upside down and plug your nose, you can't get... What? Wait, best of me, is this true? If you drink water upside down and plug your nose, you can get rid of hiccups for sure. Well, if I could get upside down, first of all, and then plug my nose, get all my facts from the internet, lol. That's so funny. For sure, meaning that every time you have the hiccups, not forever. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's good. Hey, okay, so let me do this. Teleportation. I hate to drive. That's a good answer. Okay. Did you know, random fact, there are more stars in the universe than grains of sand in all the beaches on Earth? Now, how in the world did they even count all that? But that's a random fact. Just one random fact that somebody told me a long time ago. Yes, drink Kwanzaa. You mean a keg stand. You guys are hilarious. Titanic was hit to push through. Yes, that is a random fact, but I think it's a believable fact. Absolutely. Gosh, you guys are amazing. Okay, so let's get down to it. I'm going to do, let me see. I could give you one more random fact. Did you know bananas are berries, but strawberries are not? Yes, botanically, strawberries don't meet the definition of a berry, but bananas do. How freaking odd is that? Did anyone know this? My son told me something the other day, and I was like, no way, I had to go check it out. And it was a true random fact. He said, bananas aren't berries, Mom, but strawberries aren't. And I looked at him like, what? I had to go make sure he was right. Yep. And one last random fact. Did you know that your body, is made of stardust? Yes, you are made of star dust. We are all stars, believe it or not. Most of the elements in your body are carbon, oxygen, and iron. We formed inside, we were formed inside stars. That is so true. Bob Dylan's real name is Robert Zimmerman. That's interesting. Random facts. Okay, so let's get into it. So I wanted to start this stream off with this. You guys know how I value my constitutional rights. I'll support your constitutional rights. But I just wanted to tell you and help share just one thing. The Bill of Rights, in a nutshell, I'm gonna give you 1 to 10 in a very quick overview. 1, easy, freedom of speech, religion, press, assembly, and petition, right? That means you can say what you believe, practice your religion, publish opinions, protest peacefully, and ask the government to fix problems. Did you know that you can petition the government to fix a problem, like factually innocent person being in prison for something they factually did not do or doesn't have any direct relation, like Bryan Kohberger? Right to the right to bear arms. That means that you can own and carry a PPU, a weapon. 3, this is an odd one, but I know this by heart because I'm ex-military. Quartering of soldiers. What does that mean? The government cannot force you to house a soldier in your own home. Okay? I know these are random, but I want to give you the top 10 so that you know, and you can even write these down, replay, listen to this. But a lot of people don't know what they are. The Fourth Amendment, right? Especially in America, you have the right. That is search and seizure. Police need a warrant, a strong reason to enter your stuff, your house, your car, your personal DNA, everything. Search and seizure. If they knocked on your door right now, you do not have to let them in unless they have a warrant. You do not need to hand your child over to them unless they have a signed court document and order to remove your child from your possession. Remember this when they come to your door, because eventually 9 out of 10 times somebody will have them knock on your door. You have the right to stand up and say, nope, we're not doing it unless you have a valid signature from a judge that allows it. 5, rights to the accused. You cannot be forced to testify against yourself. You can't be tried twice for the same crime or punished without due process. Due process is so important, especially in this case, which we have been talking about. 6, you have the right to a fair trial. You get a speedy public trial with the jury, a lawyer, and a chance to confront witnesses. That means that you can not only just confront your witness, a witness, all witnesses, but you get to confront your accusers. Yes, you have the right to what? Confront your witnesses and your accusers. 7, civil rights trial. You can have a jury in lawsuits involving money or property. Amen to that. And I'll tell you one day what mine was. 8, cruel and unusual punishment. No extreme bail, fines, or punishment. Yes, you can go look all these up. 9, unlisted rights. Just because your right isn't written doesn't mean you don't have it. Just because a right isn't written, it doesn't mean you don't have it. 10, rights to states. Powers not given to the federal government belong to the states or their people, but the federal government can always overrule a state's rights. 13, and slavery. 14, everyone born in the U.S. is a citizen. They get equal protection under the law. 15, basically gave men of color the right to vote. 18th, prohibition. 19th, gave women the right to vote. 21st, repealed prohibition. After prohibition was banned, they repealed it. 22nd, presidents can only serve 2 terms. And the highlight for the day is the 26th, voting age lowered to 18. Now, with all those said, several of those constitutional rights were broken in this case. We're talking today about the IDAHO4. And what else are we talking about today in the IDAHO4? We are talking about Bryan Kohberger. Bryan Christopher Kohberger, and versus in the ring today, Alivea Goncalves. Okay, I'm going to say it the way everyone else says it, not the way it looks or pronounced. So, and when you look at this and what they were doing, it looks pretty wild, because I'm sure everyone remembers this, and I'm going to get into it. I know you probably don't want to see the whole thing, but we're going to jump over here, and I am going to show you just a little snippet, because this is always a good one. Always, always, always. Here we go.
I'd like to start by thanking the court for allowing me the time and opportunity to speak today. My name is Alivea, and I'm the big sister of Kaylee Goncalves, and I was blessed to love Madison Mogan as a sister too. I'm not here today to speak in grief. I'm here to speak in truth. Because the truth is, my sister Kaylee and her best friend Maddie were not yours to take.
Now, let's just think about this for 1 second. That statement right there with what we know today, they didn't clue these families in on anything. Nothing. Because he is factually innocent. How embarrassing. How embarrassing. Oh my gosh. I scrolled on my FYP and there was somebody singing her praises, basically saying, oh, she's a big sister we all wish we had. You know, you kicked butt, you did this and that. How embarrassing, now realizing that Kohberger was factually innocent. What do I mean by factually innocent? Didn't know them, no connection, no DNA, nothing at all. And I'll refer right back to this beautiful website that was created. You can go and look at all the documents for themselves. Now, when I say this, I feel really bad for this family. How they were duped by a system systematically to make this guy look guilty. In the media, he was tried guilty. All the documents are here. You can go and you can read them. You could read all the filings. You could read even the embarrassing documents that Pullman police had to pull out and share. You can go read the Latah County documents. You can go read all the documents, watch all the videos where they say, nope, not connected. ISP, MPD, OSD, FYPD, whatever you want to call it. Basically, no connection at all. No connection, guys.
They were not yours to study, to stalk, or to silence. They were two pieces of a whole, the perfect yin and yang. They are everything that you could never be. Loved, accepted, vibrant, accomplished, brave, and powerful. Because the truth about Kaylee and Maddie is they would have been kind to you. If you had approached them in their everyday lives, they would have given you directions, thanked you for the compliment, or awkwardly giggled to make your own words less uncomfortable for you. In a world that rejected you, they would have shown mercy. Because the truth is, I'm angry. Every day I'm angry. I'm left shouting at the inside of my own head everything I wish I could say to you.
Boy, I'm angry too that the system allowed. I'm angry at Santa. I don't know about you. I'm angry at Santa sitting there in the beard right next to yeah, that girl. Santa knew the evidence did not point to Bryan Kohberger, but to save face for the IDAHO, right? They just basically mulled over and said, we need a conviction. He's going to be the conviction. No doubt about it. Now, what is going to happen? Are they going to shit a brick one day when he is exonerated, like he said from the beginning? I cannot wait till I'm exonerated. What are they going to do then? I mean, this is probably the most embarrassing situation I have ever seen in my entire life. This is like better than reality TV, folks. Better. Because she is back on TikTok now, just as of the other day, and she is putting videos out there bashing other creators. And I'm thinking to myself, how embarrassing for her. They praised and sang her praises, and does this family not know that Bryan Kohberger is now factually innocent? Have they not read the FBI reports? Have they not dug into this? Have they not? How? How embarrassing. How embarrassing. I mean, if they had to go head to head with Kohberger right now, they know. They have to know he was factually innocent. They had to know from the beginning, but yet they got up there and what did they do? They said this awful bullshit. And I don't know if they can be sued for this because obviously this is a victim's impact statement, but I'm going to get to that in a minute. Well, you know what? Let me share it now. I'm going to share it right now because this is really important. Now, well, let me just say this. If you guys don't know what's going on with Karen Laramie and Ethan Chapin's family, that would be obviously Maddie Mogan is Karen Laramie's daughter, and the Chapins have Ethan Chapin as their son, one of the triplets. An order was placed just the other day. I asked for a true copy of this order because I always like to see the hard document from the courts. And I got this from another creator. Shout out. I can't remember who it was, but it was shit. Sorry, you got Spicy Phoenix. I'll go on today. I don't remember who the creator was, but when I find it, I'll go ahead and tag it. But this is a partial injunction. Okay, this is a judgment granting in part, permanent injunction. I'm always baffled when I see that it has Karen Laramie, which is Maddie Mogan's mom, and Chapin. Where are the other parents? Do they don't care if it's shown to the public? Where are the other parents? Why do you not see Christy and Steve fighting to not have these released also? Is it just those two? What's the deal with this? I mean, they were all four unalived, unfortunately. And they're blaming it obviously on Bryan Kohberger, but that is still an unsolved cold case, people. It is cold case file, which I'm going to talk about tomorrow. But I just want to say this. When you look at the documents, the judge, the actual first magistrate judge that allowed this to happen, well, she's a district judge now, allowed this to take place, she put the seal of shh, the hush, don't tell anybody seal, the gag order, the stamped sealed order. She put that out on the street. And now what they were asking for was granted partially, only part of it, in part of the permanent injunction that basically says they will not be showing any blood or gore. And this only applies to the city of Moscow. That doesn't apply to the FBI. It doesn't apply to ISP. It doesn't apply to Latah County Sheriff's Office. It does not apply to other entities that want to release those photos. No, yeah, she approved the PCA, yes. But other agencies can release these photos, just not the Moscow Police Department. Other agencies can release them all day if requested with the FOIA or direct access. So why in the world are only two families trying to protect their loved ones' injuries, maybe, or blood and gore? I don't want to get too into that. But why are only two? Those two. And let's listen to what Alivea said next.
The truth about me is when I heard the news, I didn't cry. I listened for them. I promised them I would, that I would fight for them, that I would show up no matter what it cost me. I swore I'd never let them feel alone. Because you see, I've always been their heavyweight. I've always been the one to fight the battles they didn't feel ready to fight themselves. All it ever took was a call, and they knew I would handle it for them, no matter the time, no matter the cost. They could wave their white flag because they knew I would never back down, not for them, and not even death could change that. Somewhere along the line.
Okay, so there's a really good statement in the chat. They probably only needed two set of parents because it covers both rooms. It covers those individual bodies, not just the rooms. It covers those bodies. So the individuals that asked for this to be sealed is basically Maddie Mogen's mom and the brothers and sisters, Stacy Chapin and the dad. I don't see Hunter on here. So Stacy, the husband, James, and Maisie, the sister. I don't even see Hunter on here that asked to keep Hunter's body, Ethan's body, protected from that. So they could release Kaylee Goncalves' body. They could release those pictures. They don't have to blur them. They don't have to do anything. But it's only Maddie, right? Well, Gypsy, here's the problem with this, is that it wouldn't exclude the sheath, though. But here's the problem. They said that they would not release the bloody details. So if you go back and read the documents, the sheath was said to be a mixture of blood on the knife sheath, but that's the blood part, right? So I don't think we'll ever really see the hence sheath, if you get what I mean. And that's a way to get around that. It's kind of like a loophole, right? If we don't have to share that part, then why even talk about it, right? They're just going to try to hide the fact that, maybe there was not a sheath there. We will never know if there was an actual sheath there. But in the documents, I did find something very interesting about the sheath. And it was in a court document. And I wish I would have wrote down the number, but I read through it. And they found the sheath upside down, the button facing down. So I don't know how they even got a clear DNA sample of Bryan Kohberger's trace DNA on the button snap, it was found upside down. So that is a whole new level of, I don't know, effery going on in this case. So, I mean, we should be able to see the other things if we don't see the bodies. I mean, can't we, experts, aren't they going to request to see the blood splatter? Are they going to seal that indefinitely and then no one can have access to it ever again? I think, in my humble opinion, they wish this case would go away, because now that there's factually innocent on the table and Kohberger's DNA was not there, the FBI analysis says nothing was in the victim's home or on their bodies, not the dog hair, nothing in the car, nothing in his apartment, a big fat nothing burger. And then we hear all this other stuff coming out. Yeah, Hunter Chapin isn't listed, which I've always thought this was odd from the beginning when they added everyone else on. So let's get back to the ramblings, and then we'll get into, this is just round one. We're going to get into round two because I'm going to tell you what Bryan Kohberger does. Hold on.
I started to think about what I would say to them if I was given just one last chance. If I could gather enough heartbreak or love or sacrifice or whatever it took to get just one message across, what would I say? Throughout this entire process, I've written my feelings down at every moment, my wishes, my love, my denial, my anger. And as one final act of love, I'd planned to read these thoughts, even jarring and discombobulating and not even making sense. Because for me, that was true love. As bare and as naked as it could be, not laced in pretty words or dressed for the occasion, but written through bleary eyes at 2 a.m. with clenched fists, angry at this reality. My true final act of love was to continue on without them, for them.
And what's sad is everything that I hear in her speaking, in my humble opinion, is all about her. It's all about her. A victim's impact statement. Now, drop a 1 if you agree. If you agree what you're hearing is all about her. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I'm glad that we agree to that, because this is going to make the next part easy. Very easy. When you start thinking about what she's saying, it is all about her. It 100%. And what gets me the most is that she doesn't, I mean, she's not talking about true justice, unfortunately. She's talking about me, 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 and me. And it's terrible, because here you see her in court. She's supposed to be giving a victim's impact statement as Kaylee's sister. And she's not even showing very much emotional in courtroom presence. And then you have all these people on TikTok. Oh, yes, sister. Yes, queen. Yes, this. Victims advocacy is so important. And remember, the original 24 to 48 hour story is this was a crime of passion. The weapon was a butcher knife. And there were so many areas in between there, because that's what the mayor and the coroner said, without allowing the police and everyone to get on the same page before they had the 4-day conference afterwards at the university. Now, why would they have a conference at the university? Because who were they trying to protect? President Green's university, because of the sale of the University of Phoenix. So Olivia's push for public justice flopped big time right after this failed Oscar performance.
That dream to read love to read aloud my love to them, to bring meaning through pain, was the latest blow in realizing you don't deserve it. And Kaylee and Maddie don't need it. They have always known my love, and they would never ask me to prove it by further victimizing myself to a defendant who has shown no guilt, no remorse, no apprehension. They would say to me, "Why would you give the satisfaction of showing vulnerability now? You promised you would never back down." And for that clarity, I'm thankful. I won't stand here and give you what you want. I won't offer you tears. I won't offer you trembling. Disappointments like you thrive on pain, on fear, and on the illusion of power. And I won't feed your beast. Instead, I will call you what you are: sociopath, psychopath, murderer. I will ask the questions that reverberate violently in my own head, so loudly that I can't think.
Okay, slander, 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 defamation. Why can't Bryan Kohberger sue her in a court of law for her slander and libel? And I mean, think about that. She just stood there and called him 3 individual things that were barred from the court. They barred him from, yes, it's all in the court documents. The judge signed an order that said you cannot refer to him as X, Y, and Z. And then she comes in and does this. How in the world did they get away with this? Is this real? Or are we watching a play, theatrics, movie?
Straight most any day. Some of these might be familiar, so sit up straight when I talk to you. How was your life right before you murdered my sisters? Did you prepare for the crime before leaving your apartment? Please detail what you were thinking and feeling at this time. Why did you choose my sisters? Before making your move, did you approach my sisters? Detail what you were thinking and feeling. Before leaving their home, is there anything else you did?
Dude, he was never in the home. They've proven this. How embarrassing. I'll just throw this up there one more time because I love it. How embarrassing. Yes, and Hitler allowed this in a court of law being streamed nationally. I was watching the stream. This is from my live stream. There was about 15,000 people in this live stream and hundreds of other thousands of people in other streams, guys. This was horrible. Demeaned in public. Awful. Awful clapping. Horrible. Let's get through this real quick because she's just about almost done.
How does it feel to know the only thing you failed more miserably at than being a murderer is trying to be a rapper? Did you recently start shaving or manually pulling out your eyebrows? Why November 13th? Did you truly think your Amazon purchase was untraceable because you used a gift card?
Is he going to ask her why Ozempic, allegedly? Is he going to say what's with the fake tan, allegedly? I mean, come on. How can somebody respond to what she's saying when you have nothing? Nothing. You can't say anything.
How do you find it enjoyable to stargaze with such a severe case of visual snow? Where is the murder weapon? The clothes you wore that night? What did you bring into the house with you? What was the second weapon you used on Kaylee? What were Kaylee's last words? Please describe in detail the level of anxiety you must have felt when you heard the Bearcat pull up to your family home on December 30th, 2022. Which do you regret more? Returning to the crime scene 5 hours later, or never, ever going back to Moscow, not even once, after stalking them there for months. If you were really smart, do you think you'd be here right now? What's it like needing this much attention just to feel real? You're terrified of being ordinary, aren't you? Do you feel anything at all? Or are you exactly what you always feared? Nothing. If you're so powerful, then why are you still hiding, defendant? You see, I'm here today as me. But who are you? Let's try to take off your mask and see.
Okay, there's enough of that. So we see one side in the ring. We're looking at Alivea, and she said this, and all these people are cheering her on. Yes, queen. Yes, sister. She's my big sister. I wish I had a big sister like that. Praised all over the news for her amazing speech. At the time, no one really knew he was factually innocent. I mean, look at all these news stories all about Alivea. Alivea this, Alivea that. Oh my gosh, Alivea, Alivea, Alivea. Oh, whoa, whoa. I mean, you can go through TikTok all over the place. Alivea this and Alivea that. She said she got to know Bryan Kohberger. And I'm thinking, she said she went out and she literally learned everything she could about him. Dude, we've got some of these moms that stay home and are big sleuthers that better than the FBI that couldn't find shit on him. I don't know what she learned about him other than a Spotify that was made after he was incarcerated and they said it was him, and talking about want to be a rapper. I mean, how embarrassing, in my humble opinion. Now, round 2, Bryan Kohberger, he wins, hands down, knockout. Why? Can anyone guess? Can anyone guess why he wins? Can anyone guess? What was our 5th amendment that I gave everyone? The rights of the accused. In the rights of the accused, number 5, Bill of Rights, Amendment 5, you have the right to remain silent. You cannot be forced to testify against yourself. That means you can't speak. You don't have to speak. You can't be tried twice for the same crime or punished without due process. He remained silent because he knew he was factually innocent. Hands down, he wins. Sometimes when you are silent, that is the best indication that you are going to win. I learned a long time ago, the first person who speaks loses. The first person who speaks loses in any deal. Any deal. And of course, he could not speak. Why could he not speak? Because that would have barred the deal the defense and the prosecution agreed on. He could have stood up and said whatever the hell he wanted. I would have been pissed off enough to do it. But you can see restraint on his face, because one day he is going to be exonerated. And then what? This is going to probably be the most embarrassing situation ever. Did they allow her to embarrass herself? Because remember, Stephen was supposed to speak after Steve Sr. and Steve Jr. passed. And she stood up and said, Steve's not going to speak. It's my turn. Did they do this on purpose to embarrass the Goncalves family? Did they do this? Did the prosecution do this to embarrass this family during this whole entire process where Steve was speaking out? That was what I thought when I realized yesterday when I was watching a TikTok that came across my FYP, someone who was praising her And I thought, why would these people be praising her? And where do they stand today? Where would they stand today if they knew what they knew, what they knew? We've given them all the documents. We've given them everything they need to see that he's factually innocent and he wins this round. It's just a matter of time and the processes to go to make sure that he's exonerated. I mean, her voice was very loud that day, in that day and time that we were aware of. That's what we knew at that time. But as we evolve and the weeks go on and the months go on and what we keep learning new things, now it's like, what do you believe now? Was this an embarrassing moment for her? Is this something that people will be talking about years to come when he's finally exonerated? Think about it for a minute. Let's go back to the beginning when I shared the live about what is factually innocent. It's not just legal loopholes. It's an absence of guilt. So factually innocent is he's not guilty. They found no guilt, no blame. When you find no guilt and no blame, you usually are exonerated, set free. That's the legal process. I mean, that was the defense positioning all along. The suppressed evidence, no, the secrecy, we're going to put an order in, and you can't share anything that you learned from the University of Idaho, because there was some crazy things going on in the University of Idaho. We're talking grape, we're talking hazing, we're talking unalivings, we're talking dangerous stuff, guys. And it contradicts the police reports. Other cases where innocence was proven after public vilification. If you think about those cases, I referenced a few in our lives a little while ago. What happens to the public when they perceive someone after years of being called a monster, a murderer, an incel, and all the other names that mainstream media has said about him that's not true? What happens to the public perception? Are we going to remember that he was innocent? Or are people going to remember everything the mainstream media said? That he's such a monster? I mean, this is like a face-off in court. And that's why I put him in the ring. Because there's the grieving sister and then there's the accused, factually innocent. Her impact statement carried an emotional weight. This case has been an emotional case. But the emotions cannot override factual innocent. Factual innocent is when there is no guilt. No guilt, nothing. There's a chart that I showed you, and if you haven't seen that live stream, go back and watch that so you can understand what factually innocent means. That means they could not find anything, factual evidence that he was even there stalking, nothing in his Gmail, nothing in his accounts online, nothing in his car, no hair, no fibers. The FBI said we got the wrong guy. Nothing. Nothing. So when you see this, think about the psychological tension between them, the grief in her and the closure of law for him, demanding fairness. Should victims' families still dictate in the courtroom the tone when innocence is proven? Shouldn't they have told him, hey, this guy's factually innocent, so when you go in there to give your victim's impact statements, even though we know he's factually innocent, the defense and the prosecution both knew this. They knew back in February before they threw this whole thing and said, nope, no trial in July. Weeks before they were going to begin trial. I guess they couldn't go in there and perpetrate fraud in court. Right, Santa? In my humble opinion. So they needed a plea deal. They needed a way to get out of the loophole. And that's what they did. I mean, do you, right now, where you all are at in this chat, do you ever think that this family will accept factually innocent? Drop a 1 if you think this family will accept factually innocent. Drop a 2 if you don't think they will. They were so misled. And yes, Susan, 100 freaking %. There is still a killer on the loose. This is a cold case if I've ever seen one. I mean, if you think about this, I mean, drop your thoughts in the chat. What do you think Alivea will do next? Will she accept the innocent or continue the fight? Because she promised she would never let them down. And is that why Steve G said, oh, I feel like I let her down? I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this one out if you've been really involved in following this case closely. I mean, factual innocent is still factually innocent. What if it was the frats? What if it was the frats, which I've been talking about, Kohberger versus the frats? If you haven't seen those, go back, watch those. Kohberger versus the frats. What if it was actually the frats? Is she going to go and find justice for Kaylee? Is she going to go find justice for Kaylee? I mean, if anyone, she would probably be from all of the families the strongest one to go and fight for her sister. When are these people going to wake the fuck up? Excuse my French. When are they gonna wake up and say, you know, you embarrassed me, but I'm gonna fight back? When is she gonna stand up? Now, I know that she had an account. I don't know what she's done now. I don't know if she disappeared or she still has her account. But I came across my FYP and she was on there and she was saying that she learned everything she could about the accused and made such a big old thing about it. And then she's gone. I don't know if she's still out there, but when is she going to freaking finally stand up for her sister and say enough is enough? You know, she's got kids of her own. I get it. Everyone's busy. But how could you be too busy for justice? I mean, if this was you and your family, would you just sit back? Because honestly, that's up against a system that I've shared with you, how big of a system that is. They bring their own into college, they graduate them, they move them into positions of power, and it's passed down generation to generation. You're up against a big system. You're up against a huge system. Think about tons and thousands of fraternity members, sorority members across the board. I mean, if you think about it, I'm going to show you something. And I want you to dig for yourself. Okay? Keep an open mind when I share this with you. It's going to make most of you barf. I know it. Okay? We see this in this case, and we're thinking, why? I'm thinking, who? Who would support this? And so I start looking at the names of all these people who donated, and I start looking at these names, big donors, by the way. And do you know that some of these people on here that are giving big donations are actually University of Idaho alumni students, former students? This tells you what kind of institution this is. This tells you what kind of people back these people even if they are involved allegedly, only because the ISP reports say so. There's witnesses that are frats, people that even witnessed hearing someone say to the fact, I'll read it what was sent to me today, and I'm going to find this document. I'm going to read it to you real quick. So-and-so was walking back from 1122 King Road. They didn't attend the party that night. When he walked from his apartment to 1122 King Road, he spoke with blank and told blank, Ethan's not going to make it, and thought he was murdered. This was another frat member that said, this is in the ISP reports, guys. Ethan's not going to make it, and he thought he was murdered. Blank, while at the scene, he overheard blank telling others that she saw the guy and heard Xana during the murder. Yes, folks. This stuff happens in our society. But not only that, if you think about it, I'm going to show you something else that just blows my mind in this case continually. This right here. This GoFundMe is to cover the expenses to attend the trial that never happened, regarding the murder of Ben's daughter, Madison Mogen. And it's not just one parent, it's a still ongoing donation fund. Still going on. Yes, they are all active. All of them. I just checked the other day. They were all active except for one of them. You don't believe me? I'll show you the next one. They're out there. I mean, granted, people are busy and all that stuff. That one's still active and going. It's still going. There's a trial for the person arrested for this crime. We need the money. There was no trial. Are these people giving back this money? There was no trial. This is perpetrating fraud. Now, if they would have said this money is to help with expenses like burial and other things, but they all put the same thing. This is for attending trial. It's just one of those other things that, I mean, you gotta pick your battles, right? But you know what? I can't make this shit up. It's still happening every time you look at it. No matter what lenses you look through, this stuff is still happening. It is wild beyond comprehension. Now, I will say this. This is what happens when justice is not served. Yeah, especially Stephanie. It's like money over justice. Money over justice. So, big picture is when you see round 1 and round 2, I say factually innocent wins every single time. What's going to happen? How embarrassing for this family. I'll tell you, drop your thoughts below. You leave your criticisms. If I was too harsh, drop it below. If you think I'm too mean, oh well. I'm just being spicy Phoenix today because somebody has to when nobody will. Thank you all for being here today. I appreciate every single one of you. Don't forget, if you haven't checked out our website, please do. If you can donate, great. If not, I'll keep this website running as long as I can. This website will stay up. Everyone needs to know that he is factually innocent. We will keep these records up. It's a repository for everyone to go to. That's so simple, because if you had to dig and dive for all these amazing reports, I mean, some of these reports on here, especially this section, just for those who really want to know the truth, these are the main ones. These are the top Moscow Police Department reports when AA had his hand cut. The overview narrative, Jack calls the Moscow Police Department, DM and Ellen screenshot of the connection, right? I don't know if you've seen that before. I'll show it with you too. This was connecting DM with Ellen. Ellen was a friend of theirs that was very sus that the FBI visited him. So sus, they went down to Boise and they visited him because LM was connected to DM, and LM was actually in the same group of friends with DM. Jack Showalter, Hunter Chapin, Ethan Chapin, and many more. So until tomorrow, I'll bring you something new. Thanks so much for listening. Go hug your families. Go ground yourself. Rub your feet in the grass. Go do a lymphatic drainage. Do something for yourself tonight. Be well.
Listen up, the ashes stir, phoenix wings unfurl, seeking truth beneath the blur. Turnings for the lax to meet the blur. Out the flames I rise, wings scorched but unbroken. Truth's the blaze I wield, every rhyme's a token. In the nest we move, hearts stump in unison. Searching for the light where the system cuts our wisdom. Built on lies and steel, they boxed us in cages. Now we break the locks, rewrite history's pages. Innocent until proven guilty, that's the oath we recite. Under this constitution we ignite the night. We rise like a phoenix in sync, we claim the street. Nest seekers united, our freedom can't be beat. Stand up when one falls, yeah we got your back. In a free land unbroken, we launch the righteous attack. Justice for the voiceless, break the chains of deceit. Innocent till proven guilty, our victory's complete. System cracked at the seams, built for just a few. We rip apart the scheme, bring the truth into view. Movement swells like thunder, souls fueled by conviction. Phoenix souls aligned, demanding our new vision. Marching on the courthouse banners, paint the sky. Echoes of freedom roar, watch the old guard comply. No more hidden verdicts, no more secrets sold. Every voice is a weapon, every story be told. Innocent till proven guilty, that's our final decree. Under this constitution we stand forever free. Phoenix in the dawn, truth ignites the sky. Together we stand tall, no more asking why.